Here's part 2 of my conversation with Maisie Hatler. If you thought part 1 was powerful, just you wait. In this half, she opens up about the pressures of being a student voice. We get into who she'd invite to dinner and why, where she gets some of her sources from, and how she sees the future of education. Let's dive back in. All right, so let me put you in another situation that revolves around high school curriculum that prepares students for the rapid social and societal changes that we're faced with. Let's include things like AI ethics, civic engagement, but let's also use things like cell phone use, technology as a whole, like technology addictions, digital citizenship, right? Social media presence as well. But let's also include things like health education.
Okay.
Right? What are the top 3 elements, let's say, if some of those are examples, that would best reach today's high school students because they're the most pressing ones that are real to them?
I'd say public education definitely has a long way to go.
Yes.
And looking at all those elements that you just mentioned, I think civic education is one of the top ones for me.
Interesting.
Just because even in my experience helping register these students to vote, a lot of students didn't even know how to register themselves or that they were eligible to vote.
Really?
So a little shout out to my friend Julia Chambers. She's started this amazing organization called America Undivided, and they're working right now actually to get a bill passed for California where civic education is a mandatory graduation requirement course. And I think that that is so important. Like, we take American government and we take econ, and I think that would be awesome if we included a part, maybe even into Gov, about our civic duties and civic education as a whole, and how we as young people and students can get involved with that, whether it be voting or other things along those lines.
Interesting. I like that.
So I think maybe modernizing the curriculum a little bit, which is a lot, and obviously, and it's just a theory, but little things like that to make it more effective in an age like we're in with rapid technology advancements with AI, and then also just the political climate and needing people to participate. There's a lot of things we could do with that.
I'm always curious to get a student's perspective because I do see that it is completely disconnected from a lot of the realities of today's needs and demands.
Right.
Do you think that schools kind of prepare you for the workforce, like for the work world?
No, not at all. I don't think school has prepared me at all for anything outside of school. I think what the high school system or just school system we have in place now, all it really does is teaches you how to like get by.
Yeah.
I feel like even in a lot of my classes, you're not necessarily learning the material that much. You're just trying to figure out how to make it work and how to get by and how to get a good grade.
Okay.
So I think a lot of like the actual learning and understanding has been taken out of school just because of the standard that's been set for getting good grades.
And there we are with our large education publication companies, you guys. You know how I get down on the show and I fight against them. There is proof even from the student's perspective that they're no good. Okay, Maisie, you're doing great. And we're almost at the finish line here. But before I let you go, I want to throw you on a hot seat and get some Maisie's quick takes from you. I'll ask you a question about you. So it's not really in these crazy issues like we've been going down. But let's have some fun with some of the answers, right? So the idea here is to kind of just to get to know you. So they can be fast. It's not going to be a lengthy one. Favorite high school memory?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like one doesn't really just pop to the top of my head.
Oh,
like
wow.
A lot of high school has definitely been grinding out school and doing extracurricular things and stuff. But it might be a recent one, honestly. Prom was last weekend, and I think it was the most fun I've had at a dance before, and it was definitely very nostalgic, you know, my last high school dance and being together in one place all dressed up with all my friends for the last time until graduation.
Oh, wow.
Prom. It's really sweet, but really sad. But I think it was definitely a memorable night.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that it was awesome. That's nice. Best advice you've ever received?
I think it might have to be from my mom. I even wrote about it in my essays for college. It's just to be unapologetically yourself. Just to be unapologetically authentic.
I like it. From your mom?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Don't let people change you. Be
Don't
yourself.
let people change you. I like it. I mean, you are going to Stanford. You're going to be surrounded with that.
Oh yeah,
So
lots of eccentric people. I can't wait.
great advice. Your mom is the best.
I know.
Okay, here's a pretty interesting one for me. One myth about Gen Z you'd love to debunk right now.
That we're lazy. I hear that all the time, that our generation is lazy. Our generation is not lazy. I think we're one of the most politically, socially engaged groups of young people that has ever been seen. Like, I know so many amazing people that are just doing all they can to get involved and make a change with a system that they don't think is right. And I just know so many hardworking people just at my local high school that have such amazing dreams and have worked so hard all of high school that we are not lazy.
Maisie, you just restored hope in me in the future. I can't believe you were just saying these things. I'm going to cut that out and make it a short and send it to all my friends. They need to know. Everybody needs to hear that. Okay, that was awesome. That was a really good answer. Thank you.
And even if people are considered lazy, maybe it's just because they haven't had that right, maybe even teaching, coaching, or just opportunity. They haven't had that opportunity to find themselves and find something that really motivates them, like especially what we were talking about with school earlier, where it's become so disconnected from actually learning. Maybe they haven't found something that makes them want to learn or get involved. And so I think everybody has that potential, and lazy is not the right word to use.
I like it. You heard it here first, Gen Z. Okay, a book, podcast, or a show you'd recommend that everyone should see or listen to or read?
I don't really watch shows. Ever.
Never?
I don't watch TV.
No TV?
I don't watch TV. No, I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV. That's not really my thing. Well, one thing I did watch was Suits. Every episode. I love Suits.
Oh my gosh,
Suits
okay.
is the best. But besides that, I think this is a little different than what you said, but on Instagram, there's this page called Here's Why Kevin, and it's this dude, and he is so up to date on every single issue. I know you're not supposed to use social media as, you know, your news source, but I'd say it's one of the biggest things that I do look to when, you know, current events are happening, is this page called Here's Why Kevin.
Here's Why Kevin.
Because he explains everything in detail. It's very unbiased, and it's constant updates on all the situations around the world.
Does he reveal his sources?
Yes, he often goes on live. He goes on a story just like talking about all the issues, getting other people's opinions involved, and I look at it a lot.
Kevin,
So.
well done.
Kevin's great.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. So your guilty pleasure TV show is Suits? Really?
The only TV show.
Of all the shows?
Yeah.
Because it's like a lawyer show?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was. I just seen a clip of Harvey Specter being cool on Instagram or something. I was like, oh, what's this? This looks awesome.
You know,
and then I watched it all.
This brings up a really good opportunity here. So all the people listening, if you could leave a comment below, give Maisie a suggestion of something that she could watch that isn't Suits, not to knock Suits. I've heard good things. I hear good things, but yeah, let's give her a variety. If you could keep one app on your phone, what would it be? I mean, you got to call, and you got to call.
Right.
That's it.
Just call?
Just call. You can keep one other app.
Well, then I think it's between either Google,
The internet.
I think the internet is one of the biggest tools that's ever been. So probably just Google.
I'm going to ask you this one then. AI over Google?
No.
No.
The reason I say that is because AI, yes, it has a lot of amazing resources, but Google and news reports, maybe the people are utilizing AI, but they have that human take and experience. AI doesn't have that human experience or that emotion that humans have.
Okay.
So AI is awesome. It's a great tool, but I wouldn't solely rely on it because it just doesn't have that human approach that
We're still
need.
using Google.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm in. Okay. just figuring it out for myself. The old quintessential dinner guest question. Living, historical, fictional, who's that person going to be?
AOC.
Really? Oh my gosh,
She's
really?
like one of my biggest inspirations.
The Boogie Down makes the list.
I love her.
Really? Okay, so AOC.
I was so mad that she didn't come with Bernie Sanders to to California for their little Fight the Oligarchy.
Because they were selling it out,
Yeah.
right?
I wanted to go so bad. The closest one was in Arizona, though.
What one question would you ask her?
I think I would ask her about imposter syndrome.
Really?
Because she is on it. She's always got a clap back for everyone that's ever questioning
true.
her, and
She's
she
pretty quick.
is so confident.
Yeah.
And I try to be confident. I mean, a lot of confidence, I think, is just pretending. But I want to
Okay.
take lessons from her about that. Because
Okay.
she is just so inspiring. I want to be like her, especially in the Senate, that I can be that much of a badass. I don't know if I can say that on here, but
You can. All my New York followers,
She's a
send this
badass.
to AOC. I know you guys are close in the
love
Bronx
her.
there, so send it out. One totally irrational fear that you've never admitted publicly?
I'm scared of a lot of things.
You are? Really?
I think spiders is a little common, but I will have a full-blown meltdown if I see a spider, even if it's like this big. Tears, panic attack, can't breathe.
Arachnophobia, right?
Bad.
Isn't that what it is? Yeah.
Really bad. I
Spiders
really
or
hate
snakes?
spiders.
Are you good with snakes?
Snakes are fine.
What?
Okay, just as long as they're not too close to me, but spider,
Maisie,
I draw the line there.
As we sit in this quasi jungle of
Yeah,
a
I
backyard.
know. I was looking at the spider web
there's
over
one
there
right
on
over
that
here.
table.
I'm like, okay, great. All right. I want to ask this question because I ask this question in front of students often when I'm at schools.
Okay.
How many hours a day are you on your phone? You know that average
Too many.
thing you get every week? How many, what's too
Too
many?
many.
Is it more than 4 hours a
Yeah.
day?
Probably like 6.
6 hours a day.
Maybe
I think It's
7.
kind of a little high on the average side, but
Yeah. I think definitely technology has hurt a lot of teens, including myself's attention span.
okay, absolutely, I agree.
And just that constant dopamine. It's hard to put it down. And I feel myself doing it, just picking up. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
put it down.
because I was going to ask you, since I have the opportunity, what are you doing to battle it? Since you recognize it, you see it, you know, what you can just put down. Do you deal with your notifications? Do you turn those off?
Oh, I'm on Do Not Disturb constant. I don't have
Oh, okay,
notifications ever.
okay.
Yeah. I never turn Do Not Disturb off.
All right.
I just have a few people, like my mom, my dad, my brother, that go through Do Not Disturb when they call. But that's something that works for me, is like having your phone beeping is just so distracting. Like you already know it's there and you want to pick it up, but then you hear that constant dinging.
Yeah.
Put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Interesting. That's like that personal focus mode or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Just put your awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Describe your high school experience in only 3 words. And this is my last one. So you can
Okay.
take a second if you have to.
Okay. Challenging.
Okay. Junior year, right?
Just facing a lot of pushback for all of my goals. You know, I switched schools halfway through high school because
Yeah.
of how unhappy I was there and how that was going. And then, you know, seeing kind of the same issues and unwillingness to support or dream big and all that kind of thing. It feels like a lot of just high schools aren't building up students to their full potential. Like,
Wow.
I honestly felt pretty held back
Yeah.
by both my high schools.
Yeah.
So I would say challenging, very challenging, with not only school issues, family issues, just balancing everything. It was hard.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say it was the hardest 4 years of my life, but rewarding at the same time.
Okay.
I had some of the most amazing experiences ever.
All right. All right.
And obviously the best memories and the best friends and just so many things that I hold so close to my heart from high school.
Wow.
That even though it was challenging and there were a lot of low lows, there were at the same time very high highs.
Okay.
So
Okay.
challenging, rewarding, testing.
Ooh.
It really taught me who I was.
Okay.
Because with all those challenges, I could have just backed down, but instead, I kept going and I learned to overcome them and push, and it kind of just showed me, and with that self-doubt thing, just my capabilities and the kind of person I am and the kind of person I want to be.
Okay. And so when you have this self-doubt, you have prevailed, you have pushed yourself, you have continued to persist through regardless. Those are 3 really solid answers, I have to say. I know you were saying that you didn't feel as though the high school prepared you best for what's going to come next in your
Right.
life. But those are pretty good answers. Those are
Thank
pretty
you.
solid, yeah. One last hot seat for you.
Okay.
Let me take you down memory lane. What are your greatest accomplishments? What are the things that stand out for you that you'll always remember that have led to you to give me those 3 words as your answers of your high school time?
Okay. There's a lot.
All
There's
right.
a lot of things that, like
Cool.
I said, that I hold very close to my heart that I've been able to do. I think starting back in 8th grade with a project I started where I was building these little libraries
Okay.
and stocking them with books, and they're portable, and I would donate them to schools that didn't necessarily have access to a library
Cool.
or these learning materials.
Okay.
Just like connecting with these kids and seeing how excited they were to have these books and just how grateful they were just for a book. Like,
Interesting.
it was just so beautiful to, read these stories with them and have all them hugging on me and just getting to see that pure joy for the ability to learn. And it really shows you like how much we take
Yeah.
our education for granted when just something as simple as a book can make all these little kids' day.
Okay.
So I
Fun.
think that's definitely something that I really hold special to me, is just the ability I had to bring these resources to kids that want to learn and just feel their curiosity that I felt when I was a little kid. I loved powering through those books. So getting to share that with other kids was amazing.
You seem emotional, like when you're talking about how you help people out. It's super sincere. I just want you to know that you have this
Thank
like
you.
very authentic drive
Thank you.
to want to help people. Does anybody ever tell you that before?
No.
It's pretty awesome.
Thank you. That's
Given
my
how
goal.
intelligent
That's
you are,
really
it's
all
awesome.
I want to do, is just make a difference and help better people's lives.
Wow.
That's my goal in life, I
Wow.
guess.
Okay, what else? Tell me some more.
Then next would probably go into the dual enrollment stuff after, or in 8th grade and starting high school, I started taking those college classes.
So 8th grade, you started college classes.
Yeah.
Fun.
It was a wild ride. It was crazy being that little. How old was I?
Like 14,
13
15?
or 14.
Holy
Kid
moly.
in the classroom with 20-year-olds.
How old are you now? 17?
18.
18, okay.
18, I was
Okay.
18 in December.
Oh
So
my gosh.
just like being that teeny little kid in the classroom,
Yeah.
looking up all these 20-year-olds. It was crazy.
You were on the campus.
Yes. Yeah. It was
What was the class?
health.
What'd you
The
get?
first, an A. The first 2 college classes I ever took were art appreciation. That class was so hard.
Really?
That class was so hard.
Art
And health,
appreciation?
that class was so hard. One of the hardest ones I ever took.
Oh my
That
gosh.
Professor and that class, oh, that was hard. But then just leading up to that moment junior year when, that same little girl, like now, I was still that little girl. I was the junior in high school sitting around all these college graduates, and this just walking across that stage was probably one of the happiest moments ever, besides getting into Stanford. Like,
Yeah.
just, I never felt a feeling like that before. Just like looking up into the crowd at my parents. I have a picture like that when I'm walking down the stage.
Oh Gosh.
That was one of the best moments ever.
And this was in 11th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, you're sitting at home, you get the letter from Stanford. Is that what happened?
Okay, I have a video.
You have a video of it. Of course you have a video of it.
Because you see all those things on TikTok
Yeah.
and Instagram where they
And they
film
open
the
it up.
reaction video and open it up. Yeah. So I applied to Stanford early action.
Wait, can you send me the video so
Yeah.
I can put it in? This is great.
I look so bad at the video.
Okay.
So I don't know if you are like that familiar with the college process or like acceptances.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
assume you are, but so I applied early action,
Yes.
and nobody from Ventura has ever gotten into
Ever.
Stanford early
So
action.
no one has ever got into early action.
Right. Because the acceptance rate, it's supposed to be higher, because if you get in early action at most schools, you have to go. But that's not how it is at Stanford. It's not binding. You don't have to go if you get
Oh,
in
wow.
early action. But
Okay.
that's the idea. But typically the acceptance rate usually is actually lower, because during early action is when they take all the athletes.
Oh,
So instead of being that like 3%, it's more like 1.
okay.
Because the people that they're taking are usually the legacy and the athletes, and then that 1 small percent that they don't want to go anywhere else. So I was like, there's no way I'm getting in. There are people saying like, oh, she's not going to get in. Even, not to diss my parents, but even they were kind of, a little worried for me, because it's been my
Aw.
dream school since 6th grade.
Has it really?
Yeah. I wanted to go there since 6th grade. It started out with volleyball. I wanted to go there to play volleyball because
Wow.
their team is amazing. But so I was home, and it came out at 4 o'clock, and I was crying for like 3 hours before. Just so scared, so scared. And my parents had actually decided with my brother to go to an AC/DC concert. I think it was actually, it might be Metallica. So I'm home alone to open this decision, and I'm just crying, I'm crying. And I pull out my laptop at 4 o'clock, And I'm like calling my best friend, like, come open it with me. But she lives in Ojai, so she's taking too long. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait anymore.
Oh my
So I log
gosh.
into my thing, I'm filming it, and I keep forgetting my password. So I'm just like hyperventilating, and I log in and I hit that button, and the confetti pops up.
Oh
And
my
it was
gosh.
the most amazing feeling I've ever felt.
That's how it goes? They do the...
If you get in at the confetti and the first word, you know you got in because the first word is congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Instant tears again. And
What did you do? Did you call
screamed.
somebody? Yeah,
Screamed. I screamed and I was just crying, and then I called my parents, and then they were crying, and then my best friend's at the door, and I opened the door and I'm just bawling. She's like, "But is it good or bad?" I'm like, I got in. And then I called my other friend who's at Stanford, and it was just all that hard work, all those late nights, all that stress just paid off.
How many credits were you taking at one point in time to get signed off when you were a junior? Was it 18?
I took 9 college classes junior year.
9 college classes?
Yes. And then,
And how many credits do you have now overall?
so you need 225 to graduate. I have 430. Yeah.
Good job, man.
Thank you. It was not
Wow.
easily done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I can show you the video if you want to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
It's really funny.
It was at this point in time that Maisie took out her phone and showed me this video of her opening up her acceptance letter from Stanford. It was filled with interjections in the English language that accurately described her emotions in the moment. I can only imagine what that must have been like, considering she still remembers it exactly as it happened today, months and months later.
And then called mom and dad, and they were pretty much the same.
Wow.
I can still like feel that feeling. And when I opened it, it was like unreal.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
All that effort, all that hard work.
I think that's still like the best moment of my life so far.
Are there any other remarkable moments you wanted to share? I don't want to cut you off.
I mean, the meeting with the U.S. Department of Education was pretty up there. That was pretty insane. Walking through that building.
What are they like?
They were honestly really nice. They were a lot younger than I was expecting.
Yes, no, I know they're young.
They were young, and they were very hip, and they were, there was about, I think my education group, there was probably 10 of us.
Okay.
So it was a pretty intimate group, and they just had a little PowerPoint
Oh,
with all
wow.
the things they want to cover, and then we presented our frameworks and our ideas, and we kind of just bounced ideas off of each other. It was
Fun.
really casual, which was really nice.
And you think there was some learning, there was some growth, there was
I
some
think
progress
so.
from that?
And I think they were just so excited for us to be there, which was really
Okay.
nice. They wanted to hear the youth's opinion, which
Oh, wow.
was so cool.
Yeah, see, that's I kind of feel like that's a big missing component. Like we're all making up these rules, and we're all saying that this is what we want, and this is what we think it, and we're not asking the people who it matters to
affect.
most.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's cool. That's a good answer.
Oh, this is really recently, actually. I'm sure you're aware of like the cuts that were happening
Of course.
to the school district and
Yes.
all the horrible things that were happening with that. I just remember one of my sophomore friends texting me and going, they're getting rid of the College and Career Center, they're getting rid of the Wellness Center, and they're getting rid of our counselors. And I genuinely could not have gotten through high school without my counselor, Mr.
Yeah.
Lazansky. He was the one that fought for me.
Wow.
Every time there, besides me, obviously, but anytime that we got that no, he would be right there with me in that
Yeah.
office being like, no, we're going to figure out a way for her to do this. So just feeling so helpless. The jobs of some of the most important people in my life just gone. And hearing that they'd already had a school board meeting on the classified staff
Yeah.
and that they'd already made all these cuts when they're some of the nicest, sweetest people that, there's this one lady named Letty. Every time I see her, she just gives me the biggest hug, makes me have the biggest smile,
Yeah.
and just checks up on you. Like, they're the people that make that difference at school.
The everyday little people, right, that make the biggest impact
Exactly.
on
They
the
do.
people
They
that go
truly
there.
make the biggest impact. And just, it was the most helpless I'd ever felt in my community. Like, I'd done all these things to try to make a difference, and then just seeing how the quality of education for my friends, my underclassmen, is just being stripped from them when I already felt like my education wasn't supporting me.
Man.
So there was a protest that day after.
Okay.
Everybody ditched class because, I mean, I don't think that really was helping because ditching class is taking away money from the district.
Sure,
But they were all
sure.
like, we're not going to go to class, they're not going to get paid, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So then me and all my Model UN friends, they were amazing. And just there were like hundreds of students making posters and putting them all around the schools, writing with chalk, and
Whoa.
on the corner was signs, and just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I literally walked onto campus that day and I'm like, why is everybody standing around? What's going on? I didn't even know there was a protest. So then we printed out like maybe 300 flyers with all the board numbers, emails, phone numbers, just telling everybody, reach out to them, write an email, tell them how important this is and how we need to protect this. And so from that protest, the next day was that school board meeting. And I think 1,000 people that were online and in person showed out because of how important this was. And that was the first time I got to speak to the school board about how important this was to me and what they're doing doing to students. So just having that opportunity for me and all my friends who care so much about these people that have made a difference in our life and getting to speak out and eventually at these jobs getting saved was one of the most rewarding feelings ever.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. They ended up deciding not to cut the librarians, not to cut the counselors, the wellness centers, etc.
Really? Yeah. Well done.
And honestly, I think it was because of the students. Just
yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it.
They had to open up overflow rooms because of how many people came.
The power of the people, man.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was truly crazy to see that democracy that we fight so hard for in real time.
This is a roller coaster of an episode for Ventura High School, I have to tell you. I don't know what to say.
The students there are just such beautiful souls.
Sounds like
everybody there is amazing. Yeah.
All right. Wow, well done.
Yeah.
Any words you want to share with your counselor?
Thank you for being my biggest supporter. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Mr. Lazansky, you're the best.
Good job, dude.
He's the best.
Maisie, I really wanted to thank you for your time today, again. In my time working with high school students, I've met some of the most remarkable teenagers. Some have gone on to continue to take advantage of this world by doing what's right for the most amount of people that they could reach. And I implore you to do the same because you are one of them. Do you have any final words that you would like to share with the audience listening?
Just kind of reiterating some of the things I already said. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Don't be scared of other people's judgment or let other people change who you are. You're so amazing the way you are, and be confident in who you are and use your voice, and don't take no for an answer.
I like that. Yeah. Right? Don't take no for an answer.
That's the big one. Don't take no for an answer.
You heard it here, folks. First, folks. On the Traveling Principal Show, my honored guest, Maisie Hatler, future senator, first of many in Ventura Unified's Department of Education here. I mean, how many credits? 400?
430.
The highest GPA, 4.9. 2 associate's degrees in 11th grade, 18 credits at one time, model UN. We could go on and on. Maisie, you're so impressive.
Thank you so much.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. This is great.